Matthew Pennick.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for granting this urgent question, and I congratulate the Right Honourable Lady, the member for Putney, for securing it. Mr. Speaker, it's particularly interesting that the Parliamentary Under-Secretary, the member for Spelthorne, has been given the task of responding because, as he rightly admitted, he, like the Secretary of State, voted against the government's motion on Thursday. He hasn't reconsidered over the weekend, and he comes before us glorifying in the fact that he opposes the government's stated policy, which is to seek an extension to Article 50. And I wonder, Mr. Speaker, can he even tell us, does he agree with what he has just read out from the dispatch box today? But in all seriousness, Mr. Speaker, the written ministerial statement made on Friday throws up a series of important questions. First, given that there is now, it appears, very little chance that this House can approve the deal before tomorrow, for what purpose will the government seek an extension to the Article 50 process, and for how long will it propose that such an extension cover? The written ministerial statement is very clear. The EU would require a clear purpose for anything longer than a technical extension. It can't just be the principle that's put to them. Second, can the Minister confirm that, aside from the SI dealing with the domestic legislation, it's the government's intention to bring back the terms of any extension that might be agreed so that this House can debate and vote on them, as the Minister for the Cabinet Office indicated in a response to the member for Grantham and Stanford in the debate that took place on the 27th of February. Finally, Mr. Speaker, can the Minister tell us whether the government have sought or received any legal advice relating to the requirement to participate in the European elections, given, as he will know, that there is a range of views not only inside this place but outside? Mr. Speaker, the fact that we now need to extend the Article 50 process is a mark of this government's abject failure. For weeks, the opposition have argued that an extension to the Article 50 process is inevitable. On Thursday, this House, if not the Minister and his colleagues, finally accepted that fact. What we now need is clarity from the Department as to precisely how this process will now unfold.
Just very briefly, he suggested, the honourable gentleman suggested that I didn't agree with the statement. I fully agreed with everything in the statement. So that's just for his instruction. His instruction.
Division.
Very amusing interjections. Look, the government has made it very clear. The Prime Minister made it very clear a couple of weeks ago that in the event of the meaningful vote not getting through, there would be a number of votes on consecutive days outlining what the process would be. As you say, the Right Honourable Gentleman says he's heard it before. That's because that's the process that is unfolding. What we're going to do now is we're going to seek an extension to Article 50. That's been very clear. That's been very clearly expressed. Now, with regard to the meaningful vote, Mr. Speaker, you have opined, you've made your statement clear, but I do not want to prejudge any meaningful vote coming to this House or its success or otherwise. We've made it very clear that if we get the meaningful vote, we will seek a short extension if we get that through the House. If on the other hand, if we don't get that meaningful vote through, we will seek a longer extension. That's been very clear, and I'm very pleased to inform the House exactly what the position is.